We're live. Welcome to December. What are we at? December the 19th. Founders Call investor update for Nova House investors, potential clients, potential investors, advisors, firms across the board. Maybe even just lurkers that people that just want to keep up to date with what we've got going on. If you are new to the Founders Call, this is going to go for roughly 15 or 20 minutes. I'm going to breeze over. Let me see. Maybe I have a slide for it. Yes. Well, I'm going to breeze over basically everything that's going on with the company, with their investments, with their developments, with our capital raise on the advisory side, on the investor side, the whole thing. And I'm trying to get through it as quickly as I can so that this isn't a drag for you. So I have 3 goals with doing the Founders Call. First one is that after you watch this, I hope that you have a clearer understanding of our current situation. Potentially, you might be on the fence about investing. Maybe you have already invested and you want to see what's going on. As I said before, maybe you have no interest at all and you want to just watch what we've got going on. I'm not sure. The second is that after watching this, you have learned something about international developments in the process. And the third is that after watching this, we hope that we have built a slither more trust with you than we had before you watched. So, who are we? The Nova House is an international real estate investment company where we offer US investors, or at least primarily US investors, access to international markets. We currently have an offering open in Costa Rica, and our team is led by five individuals, essentially. Martin Papp is on the far left-hand side here. Martin has over 10 years of real estate experience in Thailand, in China, in America, and now in Costa Rica. He also built a tea company from scratch in China to up over 400 locations. And so Martin is the king of doing international business. Myself, Tyler Jordan, which is standing right next to Martin there. I'm from Australia. I currently live in California, and I've been in the US for the last 4 or 5 years. I've got most of my experience in real estate back in Australia, in the civil construction side of things, then moved into my own developments in which I did completely remotely. Next over here, we have Lee and Derek Rush. They have spent over 25 years in Saudi Arabia and Dubai working on the Giga projects over there. And they are now moved to Costa Rica and are doing developments with us here at the Nova House in Costa Rica. Daniel Calvosa is on the far right here. Daniel is a Costa Rican citizen and has been doing real estate and engineering in Costa Rica for the last 20 years. Daniel has well over 100 builds under his belt currently in Costa Rica. So we're going to touch on 5 things. The first is just general updates, then property development, what's happening over the next 2 weeks, the thoughts of the week. It's an interesting one this week. And then also any opportunities that are within the Nova House. Oh, also, we are speaking with a few advisors and their clients who are interested in a due diligence trip. We've already done one, which was fantastic. We did that about 2 months ago and it went extremely well. We brought a bunch of people down and we had a really good result. So if you are interested in that, it is something that we will potentially be running in the spring of 2025. And it will be only for advisors and their clients that get on board with us before December 31st. So general updates. Let's start with capital raising. This is the elephant that is real estate funds, is the capital raising. And so we're finding we're getting a lot of committed capital. Getting that capital to actually land is quite difficult. What I mean by that is people that are allocating, say, yep, looking at doing 200, looking at doing 300, looking at doing 100, whatever it might be. It's then quite the process to actually have that hit the account from, yep, I'm interested, let's do this, this is the amount that I want, through to actually, having the cash in hand. So that's something that, we're working through right now. We actually just had a 100K land in escrow yesterday, and we've got 135K pending right now. The 100K was from a firm out of San Jose in California, up near San Francisco. And the 135K is from two groups, two investors, one from Chicago and one also from San Francisco again. Momentum. Coming towards the end of the year, I'm not sure what has happened. We can't really put our finger on it, but it seems like momentum is really starting to pick up. Our phones are starting to ring. We've got emails coming in. We've got people, committing capital. We've got capital landing. We've got all these sorts of things that are starting to happen, and we're sort of picking up across all metrics. Our emails are being opened more rapidly. We've got more links being clicked. We've got more social media presence. All of these things from advisors, investors, and firms around the country, it's all starting to pick up for us, which is fantastic. So we are riding that wave and trying to pump as much fuel onto that fire as we possibly can, which is fantastic. And so that's just one that we're touching on in at the moment. On that note, 5 Minute Monday. If you are part of our email list, you will have already started seeing these 5 Minute Mondays. We've started pushing out an article every Monday that is less than 5 minutes long. And it's got something to do with alternative investments, real estate, the Nova House, international developments, whatever it might be. Just writing some kind of an article every Monday for everyone that's part of our email list. It looks like this. And so if you would like to be part of that email list, please go to my LinkedIn and subscribe to that email list. Getting a lot of good feedback on it already. Actually just got off a call today with an advisor who said, fantastic, loving these. I've actually already started sending them to my wife, my friends, and some of my clients as well, because they're so valuable. The last one I did was on golden visas, which seemed to be very helpful for a whole bunch of people. Currently, these are going out to close to 2,000 people. So 2,000 people are already loving these. If you would like to be part of that, again, go to my LinkedIn, Tyler Jordan, and subscribe through there. On top of that, we've got new materials and a sales room. So if you're an advisor watching this and you are either part of the Nova House already or looking to become part of it, we have new materials, new decks, new materials to go out, and we've also built a sales room for you so that you can just you can receive our materials and you can just click share and share it directly to your clients, and that can just be done all for you. There's no needing to download things. There's no needing to attach attachments. There's no need to do anything. It is just click share straight to your clients, and if they're interested, they'll let you know, and we can move forward. So we've tried to make this process as easy and simple and clean for you as we possibly can. On another note, we've just got back from the 4-Star Wealth the 4-Star Wealth Advisor Conference. That was down in Cancun over 4 days. We got to speak down there to around 45 or 46 advisors of 4-Star, most of which are 4-Star advisors, some of which are potentially becoming 4-Star advisors. But everyone in the room is doing alternative investments. They're there to learn about alternative investments. And it was fantastic. We had a really good time. I often, the way that I judge conferences is how hard it is to justify to your spouse that what you're doing is work. And this was up there. This was potentially one of the hardest to justify. It was down there at a beautiful resort on the beach in Cancun. So it was very difficult when you're walking between conference room and meeting room and things like that, and you're snapping pictures of the view and sending that home. It's very hard to justify. But we did really well, I think. I would like to think anyway. We got a lot of good feedback. Our presentation sparked a lot of interest. We had multiple multiple advisors pulling us aside and wanting to have conversations about what this could mean for their clients and getting some of their clients involved. And we also had some of the advisors already involved, showing more interest, which is fantastic. And that's what that's why we're at these conferences, is to, promote the brands and showcase what our offering really can mean for not only in investors, but also advisors. This is a photo. This is me, Martin, a bunch of 4-star advisors. This is Ilonka, our managing broker dealer, and this was one of the networking sort of power hour things that we had going on down there. Outside of that, I don't have a whole bunch to report, other than this been doing a bunch of articles. Me and Martin have been making a ton of calls and emails a day. We're trying to hit thresholds of 100 outreaches a day, which is it's quite the task. It's a lot on top of everything else. So our days have pretty much just looked like that. Every day. We're in this office from roughly 5:30 in the morning until 8:30 or 9:30 at night. So it's all happening here. Property development. Obviously, one thing I want to preface this with is that capital raising is at the top of the funnel. Without capital raising, nothing matters. And so we deploy capital in tranches. And so we deploy capital, with, for example, this escrow that we have open right now. We deploy it from that escrow once these properties are ready to be built, and we have the capital to do so. And so primary focus is on capital raising. Last founders call, I mentioned that we put an LOI on a property in Senderos in Tamarindo, and it had been accepted, which is fantastic. We had an investor lined up already to purchase it, and then in the contract to contribute that as equity into the fund. Unfortunately, that investor has pushed back the closing timeline to February. So about 2 days before we were set to close on that property, which was December the 17th. So 2 days ago, basically said, we're going to need to push this back to February. I'm going to bring my team down. We're going to look at the property, potentially even look at others, but I need to push that closing back. So slightly frustrating, but that's life. That's real estate. That's the way that things go. So we'll update you again on that property in February. I believe late February is the trip on where that goes. The Playa Grande property, Derek and Lee's property, that the water letter has been reapplied for, which we spoke about in one of the other founders calls. Manuel Antonio bidding came in high across the board, very high actually. So Daniel and Derek have been working quite a lot on what we can do to bring down these bids and these costs, and to make sure that this is feasible from an investment standpoint. One thing I want to point out that a big part of this is due to the amount of demand that's come into Costa Rica in the last 18 months. It's being reflected already in the pricing of materials and labor. So, for example, when we went down there and we started buying property and starting to price out these developments and really start pushing things forward, we were looking at between $100 and $200 a square foot. Already in just the last 12 to 18 months, you're looking now at $200 to $300 a square foot, and it's just because of the amount of demand that is flowing into Costa Rica is insane, and that is phenomenal news across the board. It just we need to be more and more stringent on the way that we are doing these builds, and how we're getting bids and the materials that we're using, the way that these are being constructed, etc. And so that is something that is being worked on there as well. But all in all, we are primarily in fundraising mode. I'm just realizing I have not completed this slide. Next 14 days ahead. Okay, so disregard all of this. This is old, so I'm gonna wing this one, and I can tell you what's going on. And then, I mean, the next 14 days is Christmas, it's New Year's, and then it's early January. Pretty much across the board on the investment space, advisors and firms either have already started their break or are starting their break at the end of this week, and they don't typically come back until between the 6th of January and the 15th of January, and so some advisors don't even come back until mid to late January. And so we're going to be spending this time trying to get all of our materials updated, building out funnels, building out and preparing for when things come back. We've already got multiple meetings, podcasts, events, everything already lined up from January, February, March, and ongoing. And so for us, this is a stacking period. This is the period where you get organized, you get set up, you get prepared, and you hit the ground running once these advisors and clients and firms start opening back up their doors, saying, all right, let's start looking at what's happening for this year, for 2025. And, we can hit the ground running because right now everyone's either already gone on leave or they're taking, or they're primarily in the tax period of their life, of the year, sorry. Thought of the week is that messaging is everything. Whether you are in real estate or you are in business or whether you're in a relationship or whether you're in a partnership or whether you're just going about life, doesn't matter. This message is for you. And it's how you convey a message is far more meaningful than the message itself. This is a thought that can be used when speaking to clients, investors, your spouse, your boss, your partner, your kids, or honestly, anybody. And I'm going to give a perfect example of that I have just gone through because we continue every single day. We're tweaking messaging. And that's one of the hardest parts about this business is tweaking the messaging. And so I'll give a little bit of context here. Part of our strategy with this fund, we have multiple exits. Okay. And so, and that's a big deal for us. It's something that's really important. We can exit these properties on an individual basis. We can exit them to a hospitality conglomerate that takes the whole portfolio. We can wrap these into an income fund for those investors that want to stay in and then exit the ones that want out. What else can we do? What else is the option? Sorry, that's it. 3 options. Three exit strategies. And now up until this point, that's just been in our materials. And when someone says, hey, what's your exit strategy? We say here, we're going to wrap them up and sell them as a portfolio or sell them individually, or we'll buy them out through an income fund. And the response that we've got almost every time is negative response, which is wild to us. We've been very confused by it. And some of the common words are why so many exit strategies? This seems unclear. You guys are just winging it. You don't really understand. This is risky. All of these types of things are coming out, and it's always been very baffling to me because I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Like that's having multiple exits on anything is a good thing. And so I've been thinking about this lately because it's been a bit of a sticking point for me, and I thought the actual message I believe is really strong. It must be our messaging, the way that we're conveying it. And so now, and at least the last 2 weeks, I have had this happen to me on 3 separate occasions in the last 2 weeks where someone has said, hey, what's your exit strategy? And instead of giving them my exit strategy immediately, I immediately say, well, I have a rule. The rule is that I don't get into any deal unless I have multiple exit strategies. And so here are ours for this deal. And then I'll run through. And the 3 out of 3 times I've got an incredible response. Wow, I love that. That's really reassuring to us as investors. That's a fantastic rule. That's really comforting to know. I'd never really thought about it that way. And all of a sudden, the whole landscape's changed and it's turned into one of the biggest pros of our fund model compared to one of the things that people disliked. And what I realized is it's mostly about the way that it's delivered. And so when you just deliver it the way that it is, it can be confusing and it seems potentially, a little bit all over the shop. But if you deliver it with conviction and confidence, and it's as though it is a positive because it is, then people see it that way. And so you can do this when you're speaking with your clients. You can do this when you're speaking with your kids, your spouse, your business partner, whatever it is. Change the messaging if you believe that the message is right. All right, opportunities. Last one here. I'm going to try and keep this under 20 minutes. We've got 40 seconds. If you would like to know more about the Nova House, or you would like to just chat to me and my funny sounding voice, or if you would like to, maybe you have some potential clients who would be interested in the Nova House, or you want to learn about the investment offering, there is a link in my LinkedIn bio where you can book an appointment directly in my calendar. Jump in there and do that. We currently have a track record where we have met every single person that is invested with us at the Nova House. And so over the coming 2 weeks, these are the places we're going to be. Me and Martin both are currently in Orange County. Martin will be in Las Vegas over the next couple of weeks. I will be in Pennsylvania and New York over the Christmas and close to New Year break. And then early January, I will be in Tennessee for 4 or 5 days. And so if you are in any of those locations over the next 2 weeks, please reach out, message us. We can meet up for a coffee. We can grab lunch, whatever tickles your fancy, we can do. But yeah, those are the locations we will be. We are huge on in-person meetups. We love meeting people and understanding what makes you tick and where you're at in your life and what you're looking for. And maybe is there a way that we can help? Maybe there's not. Maybe we can just be friends, whatever it might be. We'd love to catch up and meet you. Otherwise, go and be great. Enjoy your week and enjoy your Christmas. Enjoy your New Year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And we'll see you into 2025. Oh, last one here. If you are currently an investor into the Nova House, please be on the lookout early January for an email with a meeting link. Looking forward to having individual conversations with you guys first thing in January. So again, if you're an investor already, please keep an eye on your emails for that and book a time. All right, be great.